Wow, we have a lot to talk about today. Baseball took one step forward in 2020 and then two steps back in 2021. Trevor Bauer has possibly the highest contract in terms of AAV in the history of baseball. The Indians might be trading away Jose Ramirez. I cannot believe I'm actually saying that out loud. And then last but not least, Masahiro Tanaka, his career as a New York Yankee might officially be over. So again, buckle in, so much to talk about today. And also, we just got monetized on More Fuzzy, so we're going to be giving away that Gleyber Torres jersey pretty soon. So the link is in the description down below. If you're not subscribed, I'll talk about it on the second channel. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and talk about why I think that baseball took two steps back after taking one forward in 2020. The Players Union rejected bringing back the universal DH, and the reason why is because they packaged it with the expanded playoffs. The expanded playoffs, I understand, it's bad for baseball. All that it really does is it promotes bad teams staying bad, if not average, because you can squeak in as a sub 500 team, aka the Houston Astros. Yes, they made a deep playoff push because they got healthier as the playoffs were starting. But why did they have to package it with the universal DH? Why could we not have them on separate offers? It doesn't make any sense. So if you don't want the expanded playoffs, that means you can't have the universal DH. If you want the universal DH, you have to bring back the expanded playoffs. Why are they tied together? I put out a poll on Twitter, and I'm going to say right now, 90% of the baseball community wants the universal DH back in baseball, and I do not blame them. It's way more fun to watch Nelson Cruz hit baseballs than it is to watch Noah Syndergaard, even though he's a pretty decent hitter for a pitcher. No one wants to see a guy hit .050 with an OPS of -7. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could go out there and hit just as good as any of these pitchers because you pretty much close your eyes and hope that you get lucky. Now, the 10% that doesn't want the universal DH, I like to call them the vocal minority. You guys make so much noise. Yep. Baseball is about strategy and you're changing the game. I don't like it. Well, if you look at the poll itself, you are clearly in the minority, but you're the most vocal because that's just the way that it kind of works. The minority and the people that feel left out always talk the most, when the rest of us understand that if we want to progress the game of baseball going forward, we have to give kids an opportunity to watch the game and be excited about it. And when I'm seeing Marcell Ozuna lead the league in RBIs and do all this crazy stuff as a DH instead of him struggling out in left field, and people make the argument that they're paid a lot of money, they should be able to hit and play the field. Tell that to JD Martinez, one of the best hitters of the last decade. All he does is hit. Same with David Ortiz. I could not imagine, let's say David Ortiz was hit a pop fly to first base and he rolls his ankle and there goes his career. He might not be a Hall of Famer if he played first base because injuries definitely happen. Look at Albert Pujols. He can barely even man his position without falling over, and I say that because it makes me really sad. If we can extend the careers of these amazing hitters and at the same time give them twice the amount of jobs to search for, because instead of just the American League offering a DH, you now have the National League. Why are we packaging that with something as stupid as the expanded playoffs? So again, if you're in the vocal minority, you are the 10% of people in the world that wants universal DH to be out of baseball. I will politely ask to get with the times. Understand that the game of baseball does not necessarily need you anymore. We have to come together, give the best and most fun product for all the fans in the world to see. But unfortunately, like let's say Trevor Bauer goes to the Mets, he even told me in person that the one thing he can't do in life is hit baseballs. But now he's gonna have to hit. Like even when I was playing high school baseball, there were POs on my team, pitchers only. The coach literally took at-bats away from him because he just wanted his best pitcher to pitch only. And what? Now he's going to go to college and still just only pitch, and then he's going to go to the major leagues, and then we expect him to be Zach Greinke, someone who's won a few Silver Sluggers as a pitcher, or Madison Bumgarner, who hits a ton of home runs. So I just don't understand the logic of trying to keep the game of baseball, in my opinion, stale. Bring the universal DH to the game, leave it there, and don't bring back the expanded playoffs. It makes no sense while they have to be together. So yeah, the title, Major League Baseball hates us, it might not be hyperbole, honestly. Real quick, I want to talk about how Trevor Bauer is probably loving the moment right now because reporters are going back and forth, contradicting themselves left and right. This is by far the worst time of the year. It reminds me of the Manny Machado and Bryce Harper offseason where, reporters were saying, oh, Machado's going to the Yankees, or there's no chance that he's going to the Padres, Bryce Harper this, Bryce Harper that. It's just all false rumors to try and get clicks on articles, and I understand it, but it's a little bit scummy, and it's happening right now because Bob Nightingale said that the New York Mets offered Trevor Bauer the highest AAV contract in baseball history. And then John Heyman, another checkmark guy, we call him the sauce man. He's blocked me. We don't like John Heyman on this channel, but he denies the fact that the Mets even offered a contract. They're interested, but no contract has been offered on one side. Another reporter is saying that it's the highest ever. What is happening? What is even the game of baseball in the offseason? What are we doing? God, I could talk about the shortcomings of baseball all day long. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but don't we feel like maybe they need a fresh face in the front office or the commissioner's office? Maybe it's me, maybe it's Giraffe Nick Mark, maybe it's John Boy, maybe it's Foolish Baseball. I love that kid. Bailey is awesome, and he has great ideas. But instead, we're making... Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. So earlier this morning, a breaking report came out that the Indians were actually able to re-sign someone. What? What even is 2021? The Indians are re-signing some of their better players, but unfortunately, it's not Francisco Lindor. It is Cesar Hernandez, who in my opinion had a pretty good 2020 season. I think he won a Gold Glove as well. So he is now being re-signed as the starting second baseman when the Indians just acquired two infielders in Andres Gimenez and Ahmed Rosario. Ahmed Rosario plays shortstop. Andres Gimenez plays shortstop and third base. What does that mean for Jose Ramirez? Well, my biggest fears came to fruition as reports started swirling. And again, this is from another checkmark account that is trying to get clicks. That's probably what is happening. But Dan Clark Sports came out and said that the Braves are in talks to acquire Jose Ramirez. And that would make sense considering the Indians re-signed Cesar Hernandez, and when you factor that in, you kind of have a logjam at the shortstop and third base position because where is Andres Gimenez going to play? The way that I think it's going to play out is that J-Ram is not going anywhere. I think Ahmed Rosario is going to play center field because he has really good speed and a pretty good arm, and then you have Cesar at second base with Andres Gimenez at shortstop. That's the way that I feel it's going to play out. But if it doesn't, if the Braves do end up trading for Jose Ramirez, watch the heck out. I truly think the Braves would be the team to beat in all of Major League Baseball because J-Ram is a switch hitting monster. But in return, you would have to get Drew Waters, a top 10 prospect for the Atlanta Braves, Austin Riley, who has shown some promise in the past. You'd have to get a relief pitcher and then another low-level pitching prospect. I would do that deal because Jose Ramirez is a stud. He's on a team-friendly deal as well, and he's not really all that close to aging to the point where you're worried about father time ruining his offensive prowess. Expect Drew Waters, maybe a Christian Pache to be involved. A top 10 prospect has to go back to Cleveland in return. And then the Indians would have Nolan Jones, Tyler Freeman. You have Drew Waters to play the outfield. You have Austin Riley to play third base. So you have a young team, something that you can build going forward with Shane Bieber, Zach Plesac, Tristan McKenzie, all of the other young studs that they have in the rotation. Last but not least, let's go ahead and talk about Masahiro Tanaka. He is looking to return to Japan, and he is going to get huge money. So that means his career in New York is most likely coming to an end. I don't really understand this because he's 32 years old. Like, he just turned 32. He's not an old man by any means, and even last year, he had a mid-3 ERA. I understand his FIP was a little bit above 4, but playoff Tanaka is still kind of a thing. He had 2 bad starts in the playoffs against the Rays and the Indians. But I do believe there's a lot of juice left in the tank. But unfortunately, the Yankees aren't willing to pay him what he's asking for. And I guess Japan is going to give it to him. So that does it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know in the comment section down below. Are you a fan of MLB rejecting the universal DH because they don't want expanded playoffs? Or do you think they should be 2 independent things where they say yes to the DH and then no to expanded playoffs, but instead they say no to all of it? I'm cool with no expanded playoffs, but the fact remains that 90% of the baseball community believes in the universal DH, and unfortunately, we're not getting it because the owners, I'm pretty certain that they just don't want to pay a whole extra 15 DHs in another league. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.